and my son and I have decided to come out to the park. I'm getting ready to really give birth to a lot of projects. I'm working with some really amazing people in the community, and even beyond that, who really are looking to be the examples of change and collaborative efforts to really, I guess, set the tone for this new wave of consciousness and awakening. And we need areas of support. So I'm being supported in the work that I do, and it's my intention to support others, especially the group of women who I've been associating myself with, have fallen absolutely in love with, and I am looking forward to bringing more of that to you all. To keep with what I want to talk about today, I'm coming up with another yoga class that will be on Fridays as of right now. I am in the Phoenix, Arizona area, and I'm just going to start to just let you guys know. Today I'm going to plan out my class, but beyond that, the intention is to just really invite you to join me when I start to put out the flyers and the locations. I'll do my best to keep them as centralized as possible, because I do understand that living in the Phoenix area, Maricopa County is like massive, and so I want to keep it as centralized as possible. And depending on who shows up and where they're coming from, I'll do my best to try to move it around to where I see like the bulk of people coming from. So I just wanted to kind of give you a heads up on that. Let's see what else. We have a couple different events coming up the end of this month and mid-month, and then next month is a whole another game changer, and that's really going to be based on the things that happens this month. We're going to follow it up with some more collaborative efforts to really just support you guys. When I started this journey, it felt very lonely, and when I started to meet people, like-minded people who were awakening and who wanted to live from their heart space, it was like coming home to yourself. It was so awesome. And so we want to make sure that we have a place where people feel like supported and loved, and they feel safe, because that is absolutely important. Because as we change, as we grow, we change, we grow. And sometimes people will say, like, those who have known you, they'll say things like, oh, you're changing. Well, I just want you to know that's great. You should change. You should grow. Who you were at 19, you don't necessarily want to be at 25. And it doesn't mean that anything's wrong. It just means, like, as we learn, we want to apply the lessons, the information, the wisdom that came from the lessons. That's how we become wise. We don't become wise just because we know a bunch of stuff. You actually have to apply the information. So if you know not to do a certain thing because it's going to give you a end result that you don't desire, then you want to make sure that you're not doing that certain thing. And so what we do is we provide the environment, many environments. We want to reach out to as many people as humanly possible in the community who really want to erase these lines that are separating us, knowing that they really are illusions. For those of you that follow me, I always say this, I try to say this as much as possible, is that there is only one race, which is the human race. We are one human family, and that may change the perspective of some other people. May not feel that way, and that may align with some people. What I would like to say is that if you are someone who follows the Christian path, if you believe in the Bible and you believe in the ark, then you know that there was only one family that got off of that boat. So that would make all of us family. And if you don't necessarily believe in that, but you believe that everything started from Eve and she gave birth to all humanity, then we know that we're all family. So the reality of it is that there are people who have been very influential in the past and even in our present moment who are trying to trick you to believe that we are something not the same, that we are separate from one another. And it comes up in different ways. Sometimes it comes up because we're fighting for our own truths and to be able to stand in our own power. And sometimes it comes up because there is fear that is taking place, and someone may be afraid that if you collaborate with other people, then you'll actually see some of the I would say the dismantling of the human consciousness that people have been playing on for centuries. And then at that point, you'll have to call people out on that. But what I can tell you is, aside from that, is that if you want to see change, and if you want peace, and if you want freedom, and if you want love, it does start within. So we have to cultivate it here first. We have to come to understanding even why we behave a particular way, why we respond in a particular way, so that we can show up better, so that we can rewrite our own story. Because really and truly, if you do that, like, that's the power, is to be able to take hold of your story instead of just being tagged along in it. And it's honestly up to you. However, if you don't know it's up to you, if you don't realize you have the power, then you feel like you're just being dragged through an experience that you have no control over. And so as we begin to really open up our platform and these experiences and these workshops that we're going to be doing, and gatherings of minds, because we also want to have Q&A at these different events, we intend to make sure that we leave space for questions to be asked within a sacred, safe space. So there are never questions that are not a good enough question, or an important enough question, or a valid enough question. We just want you to know that you're safe with us. And I say we because there are a multitude of people who I work with personally. There's so many names to begin with. So what I'll do is I will be giving talks, like record, give you some videos as we go along, as we move towards certain events. And then I'll be able to say those specific people around that as best I can. Always there, leave room for error, because I am human, and that is always a possibility. And at the same time, I really want to encourage you all and invite you all out to be a part of the human family healing from the multitude of wounds that have taken place throughout our history. We are the only ones who can change this, because it is an inside-out experience. It's an inside-out work. And I really, really encourage you all to be a part of that. So I thank you so very much, even for just being here and holding space with me today. I'm going to jump back into my class so that I can be ready to present this to the group of people who come before me. As always, I am open to Spirit guiding me to whatever it is that I am supposed to say and teach and do, and that's kind of like what happened just now. And I want to leave you with this prayer. Mother, Father, God, creator of all things seen and unseen, spoken and unspoken, known by many names, experienced in many ways, I ask that you guide us individually and collectively to remember who we are and why we are here. For us to lean into the unknown with the surety that if we follow our purpose, if we follow our hearts, if we follow our truths, we will then find liberation, peace, love. And we thank you in advance for guiding us. And we thank you in advance for your divine love that never ever falters. Amin, Amen, Ashe, Selam, Om, Shanti, 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 Om. Peace, 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 family. Thank you again for being here. I got to get to work, but I will talk to you soon. Peace and blessing.